Jamal, and no, your eyes do not deceive you. I am white. Well, actually, I'm mixed race, but look at me, I definitely appear white, so would that make me a person of questionable colour? Or should that be a questionable person of colour? You know, because of all the questionable stuff I'm doing instead of my PhD? Okay, so, yeah, but one thing I am really jealous of the real white people, is their inherently funny white people names. You know, names we associate with stand-up comedy, names like Lisa and Adam. Am I saying that right? Adam? I don't know, these names way too hard for me. But yes, no, I don't get that. When people hear the name Jamal, they think, oh, that's Jamal. He'll sit in the corner and be quiet. And from Africa. But I'm like, no, I will be loud and from Manchester! Thank you. Another thing I often get, when people know I'm half Moroccan, is, are you Muslim? And while I appreciate many aspects of their culture, I also appreciate alcohol. And gay sex. Far too much for that. So, my life is this constant battle between listening to my African heritage and then my ignorant white genes just try to bleed through and ruin everything. So unlike most PhD students, I actually have quite a good reason to hate myself. Thank you for coming back. So, what am I then? What does that make me? Well, I'm a little gay, but I'm also a little straight, kind of black, also kind of white. I did a psychology degree, but now I'm in engineering, so what's a black, white, gay, straight, psychological engineering all over? In my experience, it's cause for a severe identity crisis. But yes, so, I don't like the that's just so sad. But yeah, no, I'm, yeah. So, what does that leave me? White, black, gay, straight, and then I'm not going to check my phone because that's rude. What I'm going to do instead is just play it off like it's part of my set, and going to say that, yes, no, I am a PhD student, I know what I am, yes. So when I'm sat in my lab, when I'm sat in my office, I'm surrounded by all these real engineers, I'm not one, and sometimes I just sit there thinking, my psychology skills are too good. I've tricked them all. I can get into any lab I want now. But then what do I do? But yeah, no, so as you can see, I never let it get to my head. I mean, after all, I still remember all the ignorant white kid shit that I said growing up. Like, for example, I had Moroccan relatives in Morocco, but also in Cheetham Hill, which is on the other side of Manchester to where I'm from. So these, you know, ignorant Mancunian kids, they'd ask me like, oh yeah, where's your mum from? And I'd be like, well, Morocco. And they'd be like, where's that then? And I'd be like, oh yeah, it's just 30 minutes down the road. My feeble child brain couldn't tell the difference between Cheetham Hill and Morocco. The other one that I got is like, well, when I was in my house, my mum would be on the phone with her sisters and such, and she'd be on the phone like, assalamu alaikum, labas. And I'd be like, quit taking the piss, Mum, those aren't words. I just thought it was a made-up baby language she was saying to me to like get me to like chill out or whatever. I was just literally and she would call me from downstairs to have my dinner, and she'd be like, Jamal, and I'd be like, no, it's Jamal, get it right, we've been through this. I was literally a 5-year-old white mansplaining child. So that's why I went into academia, of course. Yeah, so white mansplaining, child, went to academia, why not? Then what comes after that? Let's find out. How else is going to go? No, how do I cope being a bisexual person of questionable colour, living in an increasingly less tolerant country? Well, I look for all sorts of opportunities to overshare my life story, including stand-up comedy. So, I'm bisexual, and I am biracial, and yet I can't ride a bicycle. What? But I do understand that particularly men are a bit weirded out when they find out that I'm bisexual, because they're like, really? You like people as gross as us? Why? I can understand that. We all saw that Science article. This is how Cosmopolitan.com reported it. Men's beards are riddled with poop particles. Can a chemistry graduate come explain to me this later, please? The other one I often get when people know I'm bisexual is, oh, you must be super kinky. But I'm not. What's wrong with just humping your partner's leg? I'm so vanilla. In fact, I'm a vanilla substitute for the people who can't have real vanilla. So if that's your sort of thing, you get the bar later. Yeah, so how does this relate to my research? But it doesn't. Well, I used to research human response to vibration. Yes, I used to vibrate people for money. I will now answer your questions. 1, no, I was not into it. 2, no, they were not into it. 3, I don't get paid enough for that kind of research. My job was basically, unlike most doctors who try to make you feel comfortable, make you better, my job was to make people uncomfortable with a series of 13 vibrations of different frequencies. If you want an image of my job, just imagine a seat tester for a car company, but vibrating people in the basement. Yeah. So I've had to change my PhD recently, and why is that? Well, after 2 years, where my funding just kind of fell apart because all my supervisors left, the research group kind of imploded on itself, the Faculty of Engineering decided to give me funding to study the thing I'd learned most about in my time at the university. Car crashes. Yes, I study now the thinking processes behind motor accidents. So, where does this leave me? Well, I want to be a better PhD student this time around. Thankfully, I got a second chance. So like most psychologists, I decided to make a model of what makes a good PhD student. So in this model, there are 2 types of PhD student. Insane PhD students and normal PhD students. Even though they're the normal ones, I've never, met any or heard about any. But my old supervisors assure me that they exist and that they thrive all around me. It's just weird that none of them were in my research group. Anyway. I wonder whether it's just like a parable that gets passed down through academia. Like, no one's really sure if it's based on reality or not anymore. Like, Aesop's The Good Student. So, how are any of these things connected? Well, I often think that being bisexual is a bit like being an interdisciplinary researcher. You're attracted to these 2 scientific disciplines that society likes to make out like they're really binary, but when you think about it, they're both hot for very similar reasons. In practice, this means that I wake up some days and I'm there thinking, oh, I could really go for some papers on the psychophysical processes behind decision making. Yeah, that sounds great. But then later that evening I'll have 2 or 3 pints and I'll be like, oh, you know what? The next paper on structural engineering I see, I'll read the fuck out of that. Yeah, so, how are any of these things connected? Well, I just think that I'm quite hard to put in a box. I've got these weird aspects of my identity, and it makes some people uncomfortable because you don't really neatly fit anywhere. No one really knows what to make of you, whether you're an interdisciplinary researcher or bisexual, or you just defy some of the stereotypes of the labels people put on you. And I used to get upset about that and worried I wasn't a good researcher or bisexual or Moroccan person. But now instead I just decide, you know what? People can't find a metric by which to measure me by. I'm a bit weird, well, I'm cool with that. And maybe you are too. Maybe there's aspects of you that don't neatly fit anywhere. And personally, in my experience, yeah, people just can't tell you you're bad at being anything if all you can be is be yourself. And I'm pretty proud of that. Thanks.